Hey YouTube, what's up? It's your girl Maccara. I'm kicking it here and I got my little candles burning and I got my little sage burning. I don't know why y'all, I can't hold a flame to my sage. I keep lighting it and it keep on going out. I'm burning it up against my candle, but for some reason it don't want to hold anything. I'm trying to get this conversation clean. I'm going to try to light it up one more time, y'all. Y'all feel clean? Because I'm saging y'all too. I'm saging me. I done saged my tarot cards. I'm saging this conversation. I'm saging everything around here. Alright, so today's topic is going to be farewell to Frankie, to Keisha Cole's mom. And I am excited tonight to do this edition because I personally knew Frankie. So I am very, very excited about this moment to share with you all about Frankie. Now, it won't be a long, outstanded conversation because we weren't the best of friends or anything, but we knew each other and very well the whole time I lived in Atlanta, just about. So let me tell you how I met Frankie was because I had moved to Atlanta in 2015. And, you know, I stayed in Ben Hill when I first got there. And, you know, I was just going through my regular walk of life or whatever. Well, maybe about 2 years after that, I had moved out of Ben Hill and I had moved to Riverdale. I had moved to Highway 85. And so when I got there, I didn't know anyone. But I always would like to take walks outside my complex. And at the time, there was a lot of people that year that was moving into Atlanta just like I was. It was people from all over the world, people from California, people, you know, from parts of Georgia, Macon County, Georgia, from the country parts of Georgia coming to Atlanta. And all of us had kind of bonded together once we found out, you know, that we were new when we were from Atlanta, and we moved to Atlanta, and the neighbors, all of us had got close, and so I used to see this woman walking around all the time, and it was this I can't think of her name right now, but it was a black and Puerto Rican girl. Well, no, I'm sorry, Dominican girl, and she lived in the apartments as well. Well, I ended up being friends with her, but her and Frankie was really the friends. And at the time, there was this guy that had just moved from Florida. We called him Miami. And I used to do his hair. And so he lived downstairs from me. And he would always throw these parties from downstairs, you know, like I would be upstairs and I wasn't never a talker or never a mingler. But, you know, in passing, he kind of had the personality where he would make you speak. And last time I checked, though, I think he moved back to Miami. But he would always throw these parties and I would hear him from upstairs, and in passing of us getting cool and stuff, and he found out that I, you know, knew how to dread hair and comb twist hair and stuff. He ended up becoming one of my clients, and so I would see him in passing, you know, when I would be going upstairs to take the groceries or something, and I would tell him about, you know, how I heard his music bumping or something, and he told me, he said, well, look, he said, anytime, you know, we having summer, you hear music, just come on down. So I said, okay. So this went on for about like a month or two or something, you know, because I'm not really a sociable person. I'm not really into meeting new people, but I wasn't really going out and didn't have a lot of friends. Most of the people that I knew was through work or something. So this one particular night, he was having something. I was laying upstairs in my bed, and I heard the music bumping. And it was about 11, and I said, I'm going to go down there. And then some said, no, don't go down there. And I said, I'm going to go down there. So maybe about like an hour later, some hour and a half, I ended up going down there. And I knocked on the door and he let me in or whatever. And when he let me in, there was, you know, the girl that I knew, the Dominican and black girl, and there was another lady and there was some other guys in there, you know, or whatever. So he was introducing me to everybody. And so there was this lady that was walking, you know, down his hallway. And he said, you know who that is? I said, no. He said, you don't know who that is? I said, no. He said, that's Frankie. I said, who is Frankie? He said, Keisha Cole. I said, yeah. He said, that's Keisha Cole, mama. Because back then I was hearing about her, and she was on TV then, but, you know, like for me to really get into somebody, I have to really, really hear your name a lot. And then I'm a late bloomer. Then I'll click on it, and then I'll come. So, I said, that's Keisha Cole, mama. He said, yeah. He said, that's Keisha Cole, mama. Which I had already been seeing her around the complex, but I never knew who she was because she didn't carry herself like she was Keisha Cole's mama. Like, and what I mean by that was like, she was just a normal woman. She wasn't arrogant or anything. And so as she was going down the hall, Miami called her back and said, hey, he said, come here, I want you to meet somebody. And she turned around, and he said, this is my neighbor from upstairs. And in the back of my mind, I was expecting Frankie to be arrogant. And I never forget, I was sitting on his couch, and he told her, he said, I want you to meet my neighbor from upstairs. And she came over, and she had this big Kool-Aid smile, and the first thing she did was lean down, kiss me on the cheek. It's like, okay, all right, so this is cool. And she said, hi, baby. She said, how are you doing? I said, I'm fine. How are you? And she said, I'm blessed. And she said, it's nice to meet you. So we stayed in the house, and we kicked it. We listened to music. People was coming left and right, and food was being served. You know, we had a real, real good time. So that was my first encounter with Frankie. And I thought, you know, like I said, she would be around there all the time. I just really didn't pay attention to who she was, but he had highlighted it. I had been seeing her all the time. And so, you know, we kept on kicking it and stuff like that or whatever. You know, we wasn't all in each other's face or whatever. Like, after the greeting, you know, she went and mingled, I went and mingled or whatever. But then, you know, like regular duties and stuff, I would go to work and come home and go to work and come home. And she was an early bird. She would always be out walking around that complex. And she was cool with everybody. Everybody loved her. Like, I mean, all of the dope boys in Atlanta loved her. She had a nephew at the time. I knew who he was, but we didn't know each other, and we never was introduced, so we never did say anything. When we saw each other, we never did cross paths or anything. But this is when I think that was the Audi A7, Audi A8. One of them had came out, the one with the slender backs. And he had a pearl white one with leather interior, dark skin, a nice cat, looking cat or whatever. And, you know, we would see each other, but we never would speak because we were never mutually, you know, introduced or whatever. But in that complex that we lived in, they called her the godmother. Because she was. She always, I don't care, it could be 7 or 8 in the morning. She would be out there walking around. You would see her intermingling with different people of all different walks of life. No, I had a neighbor at the time, a couple of doors down, a couple of buildings down, was a white guy. And he would always be out there working on his car up under his hood. But that's what he did. He would buy cars from the auction and bring them back to the place and get them together and get ready to auction them off or sell them or whatever. You know, sometimes she'd be out there talking to him, African people out there in the community. She'd be out there talking to them. From what I gathered, like I said, I knew her. We saw each other every day just about. Now, it would be like 2 or 3 days where she wouldn't be around or whatever. Like, you knew she wasn't on patrol because she wouldn't be out walking around in the neighborhood. But then you knew she'd be back. And at the time, she had another daughter, which I did not get to meet, which was Keisha Cole's sister, which I didn't even know she had another daughter. And at the time, Miami told me, because I asked, well, why don't I ever see her? And I never got a chance to see Keisha Cole neither. But I had asked, why didn't I ever see the sister? And he said that I guess she kept over here and there. But at the time, she was recording a video or a music album or working on something or whatever. So she was real busy. So I never got a chance to meet her or whatever. But, and it was another time that Frankie was finna lighten to me too, because I was walking one morning and it was this dog that was getting ready to come after me. And she wasn't around at the time. And I was getting ready to kick the dog because I was walking, the dog was just finna come and attack me. But the person that was around, I guess who dog it was, had went and told Frankie that I was getting ready to kick the dog. So when I hit the block walking, I heard Frankie yell out, "You better not kick my dog. You better not touch my MF dog." She was snapping about the dog. But I knew she was talking to me because I was the only one that was up that morning walking around and had the encounter with the dog. But she was friends or with the girl who dog it was or whatever. So one time she was about to chew me out or whatever. But I didn't really pay that no mind or whatever. But like I said, I don't have a lot to say about her. But when I lived in Atlanta and I lived on Highway 85 and the apartments was Highway 85, we traveled along the same circles and we had the same mutual friends that always made us be around each other all the time, because a couple of cats that I was around, they were in the rap industry too as well. And then Miami, you know, was the little spot that she would go over house to kick it, you know. And we just always traveled in the same circles to where, you know, we would come together and talk. And it would be brief, you know, but it was just the fact that I did want to shed light on her personality because I did personally know Frankie. So she wasn't an arrogant lady. What I liked about her was, if you didn't know who she was, if nobody told you that she was Keisha Cole's mom, you wouldn't have knew it. And there was a couple of times when I was at Miami's house and he would go to introduce and tell people who she was, and she would walk over and whisper to him, "Hey." Sometimes Frankie didn't even want all of that attention on her. I will say she was different off camera than on camera. She was a pleasant lady, you know, despite of what anybody tries to say about her. I'm just talking about what I captured, how she treated me when I was around her, and I was around her the whole summer. She was a pleasant lady. She didn't throw her weight around. Like I said, a lot of times she didn't even want to be known. She just wanted, a lot of times when Miami threw them parties and we would be in the house and all these extra people started coming to see Miami, he was hyping. He wanted everybody to know this was Keisha Cole mama, this was Keisha Cole mama, this was Keisha Cole mama. But sometimes Frankie didn't even want to be bothered. She just wanted to be a regular blow Joe. And I remember a couple of times Frankie going over there tapping Miami like, she just wanted to chill. So, she was a sweet woman. She will be missed. It saddens me because, like I said, I was down there 2015 and I got back. I got back in 2015. But I was around her like every day because she was out there patrolling the area every day. She was like the godmother. And me and the girl, like I said, the Dominican girl, it's been so long since I've been there. Me and her hadn't kept contact either. I don't know where she is. I might have to just personally drive down there to see if I could even find her. And you know, they hung out a lot. You know, they were together when I first met them. But then somehow me and the girl ended up becoming friends because, like I said, Frankie would come some days and some days she wouldn't or whatever. But like if she stayed gone like 2 days, she finished out the rest of the week over there being godmother. And she was highly respected by everybody over there. So I just want to say I knew her. She was a sweet lady. I was blown away how she wasn't arrogant. She didn't misabuse her power. She didn't treat anybody less than. And you know what was crazy was one day I thought about this too. One day we had went walking in the neighborhood because I never knew where she lived. She always came over there in our area. I never knew where she lived. And so one day, I was walking with a guy that I was also friends with that was a producer, and he was the son of one of En Vogue's members, but she was the original member of En Vogue. And from what I understand, or from what I was told, now I don't know if this is true or not, she had problems with addictions and stuff, so when they got ready to make mainstream or whatever, she didn't make it. She was kicked out the group or whatever. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he told me. But I know he was a producer and he was pretty much into the money, and me and him did a little work together. I had, I recorded and collabed on him with a couple of songs down there because I was in the process of being a ghostwriter down there. That's another story. It was a lot of things going on with that to where like a lot of deals didn't get sealed on that or whatever. But like I said, I don't know if that was true or not, but that's what he told me, And he had a little name under his belt or whatever. But one day we were walking, and I don't know if this is true or not, but we were walking, and he said, "That's where Frankie lived, right there." And I said, "It is?" And he said, "Yeah." And it was Benzes and stuff parked in the driveway, and he said that it was a nice Benz, and he was saying that was a Benz that Keisha Cole had bought her or whatever. But I never saw Frankie drive. I never even knew how she got over to the complex. She would just be over there. So like I said, some of this stuff I don't know, like some of this stuff was hearsay, so I don't know if it was true, but then again it might be. But I do know I personally knew Frankie. So I just wanted to get on here and just kind of tell you about the type of person she was personally. Like I said, we wasn't best friends, but we had about 5 or 6 of the same mutual friends that caused us to be in the same circle at the same time, and we would laugh and talk. And I'll never forget that kiss she planted on me. It was wet on my cheek, and she was just so sweet. She was just so full of sweetness. I seen her every day almost. So I was saddened to hear that because I had thought about her over the years, and I would always call home, and talk to my mom and tell my mom that I met her, and she hangs out over here, and we hang out at the same house, and we walk around the complex, and stuff like that, and talk and stuff, here and there or whatever. And I just was kind of saddened by that, but I did want to take opportunity to say something because I really knew Frankie. So farewell, Frankie. You will be missed. I hope you remember me. I'm sure you do. I have been gone since 2015 from there, and I know she probably wondered where I went because I just ended up leaving. But that concludes my little story about what I knew about Frankie. Please, if you like my videos, please like, please share, please subscribe. Mwah.